So hello, everybody. My name is Sean Murray with deBanked, and I'm here with Timothy Lee, who is the CEO of Alchemy. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sean.
So, Tim, what can you tell me about Alchemy? What is it, and what is your background in the industry?
Sure. Thank you, Sean. So Alchemy is an end-to-end private label lending platform. It's a software I've been building for the past 4 years. It is truly end-to-end from the web, iOS app, mobile app experience from the customers, all the way to the loan origination systems, decision engine, loan payment systems, and payment gateways. Most of the time, our customers give us a logo, and we build everything else out for them. We also have lending as a service, and I'll explain. Lending as a service is essentially software, analytics, and servicing. We have call centers. We have an analytics team that can build models for you guys, and as well as a technology as a centerpiece of this whole thing. My background was engineer by training. I worked at Intel Corporation for a couple of years building microprocessors. And then somehow or another, I landed at JP Chase, worked there for 4 years, right before, during, and after the downturn. Consolidated a lot of technology from Watson Mutual, Bear Stearns, BNY Mellon, into the JPMC family. That's where I kind of sunk my teeth into banking technology, right? Back in the days, there weren't any FinTech, it was banking technology. Then I worked at multiple places, consulted different FinTech companies. And 4 years ago, I realized that, a lot of these larger or even smaller institutions just can't get their, act together to build a software that's useful, building credit risk models that's actually, that works. And of course, keep a compliance-driven sort of a servicing company as well. So I created this 4 years ago, gained a lot of traction, and that's where we are today.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. So I would imagine this particular point in history that you're probably well positioned. Are banks more receptive, because you work with banks and fintech lenders, am I right?
That's right.
So are banks more receptive to a service like yours now, perhaps prior?
That's right. So banks, even before, what's happening today, before COVID, banks saw what, Lending Club, Prosper, On Deck, and Cabbage, what these guys have done. Banks, credit unions, regionals are all scrambling a little bit, right? And we've seen the partnership between JP Chase and ODX, or On Deck, a couple of years ago. So the banks were, learning, wondering, right? I can't say they're scared. They have money and technology. But what's happening with COVID is that there's a new sense of urgency. We have conversations with banks such as, hey, Tim, my digital strategy was, I've got a 48-month, 4-year plan. And now I got to accelerate everything into a 4-month plan. What do we do, right? Do I build, do I lease, or do I just cry? So we see a lot of these conversations happening. And for folks that are bound by their brick and mortar operation, we get calls like, Tim, my state governor just shut down all of my stores because they deem us to be non-essential. What do I do now? I still want to interact with our customers. Can I go online, tomorrow? So things like that are happening on a daily basis.
So would that have something to do with the product you came out with recently? I read an announcement about the first hybrid branch and mobile lending operating system. Is that related to that?
Absolutely is. We were, on a different warpath, but we've gotten a lot of calls from brick and mortar operators saying that, hey, look, my system is good, it's great. It works in the branch, customer walks in, we can take cash, checks, we can print out checks, we can deal with the customers, but all of a sudden, customers aren't going to my stores anymore for all the reasons that we know, or my store has been shut down by a local jurisdiction. I still want to interact with my customers. I don't have a website. I don't have a loan origination system. I can't deliver cash or need a credit to my consumers without my store. What do we do? So we scrambled, we took about 6 months to build a hybrid version of this model where consumers can apply online, still go to the store and enjoy the experience if they want to, or start the application in their branch and complete it at home. So we kind of build this out for many of the brick and mortar operations around the country to really, save their business in a sense.
So it seems like you're able to provide a service to a pretty wide array of different companies. When I hear like FinTech in general, it can mean a lot of different things, right? So sure. You can work with banks, but could you work with, say, an online student lender or a small business lender? Could you, I mean, how wide does your reach go?
That's right. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Um, there's an article, a couple of months ago that had a tagline of every company is becoming a fintech company, and that's what we're doing for all these companies. We have, point of sale retail companies, right? That can't even imagine themselves being a fintech company, but with our software now they can lease, rent their service or product, chunk it up into 12 payments, or start financing to get more whatever product and services through the door. So absolutely, we're working with a lot of student lenders. These online coding schools that is super popular now. You can learn how to code 12, 18 months. How do they get their stuff financed, right? They can't go through the traditional way. So all these coding schools are getting on the bandwagon. And same thing with the home improvement companies and all that stuff, right? So they look at what Green Sky has done, what Lending Point has done. Sometimes they want to do it on their own. They have the capacity or the funding behind them, so they want to own that whole experience as well. So our private label software comes in and they can act as their own Lending Point. They can act as their own Green Skies of the world. So that's what we'll be enabling them to do.
So everybody can be a fintech company.
That's absolutely right.
I like it.
Yes. Yeah.
So with that said, I mean, where do you see fintech going in general? And I guess through the lens of what's just happened with the pandemic, where do you see it going as a result of that too?
That's right. I don't have a crystal ball, Sean. If I did, we'll be in a different conversation. But if you look at what these tech companies, right, Microsoft, Facebook, right, all these guys are venturing into fintech, as it were, because they have the market share, they have the audience. So where fintech is going is essentially being ubiquitous in so many ways, right? Tech companies, retail companies, all these other companies will become fintech companies, where fintech would just be a part of their strategy. The days of, no offense to anybody, but the days of these monolithic lending clubs and the Prospers and of the world might be over, right? It's all going to be embedded, right? That this type of technology will be embedded in everybody's shop. It wouldn't even be a thought. It's like, of course we're going to have that lending, payments, servicing, credit. That's where I see it going.
It's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
Thank
you very much, everybody. That was Timothy Lee, CEO of Alchemy. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.